All right, hello everyone. Today we're going to start chapter 6, which is all about income taxes. This is where we're headed. So today we're going to take a look at tables, worksheets, take a look at how to express things algebraically, and then talk about some federal income taxes as we work through. So there's a variety of taxes that you pay. One of the first ones is property tax. This is tax that's collected when on property that you own. So if you own a house or paying a mortgage, or you pay a tax. Another thing is if you're renting, the person you're renting from, the owner of the property, pays that out of your rent that you pay him. Sales tax are taxes that are based on items that you purchase. So things like prepared food, some clothing items, things that are along that lines, you will pay tax on them. And the income tax is collected based on the amount of taxable income you make. So how much money you make, and then the government is going to tax you on that. And it's basically how much we pay as living here in the United States to benefit from government services like unemployment. Internal Revenue Service is the agency that collects the federal taxes. And this is, you're going to pay them, and then they distribute it accordingly like a budget. And then you, depending on how you file, will determine different forms that you use. So your filing status is based on your description of marital status. You must indicate your filing status as of your date of your tax return. Okay, so you can be single, which is basically unmarried taxpayers. You can be married and file jointly, which means that if you're married, you put your money together and you file as one income, and you put your two of them together. Or you can be a widow or widower who meets these qualifications outlined. Married and filed singly, so you can be married, but you're going to file, so one person's going to file theirs and the other person's going to file theirs. And you can also be head of the household. This is a special filing for people who are not married, but they support people in addition to supporting themselves. So they may be supporting people like older parents, younger siblings, things along that lines. So when we do your taxes, it's kind of like an interval, or you have to be between this number and this number. So there's like a starting number and an ending number, and then in between. And this is where we're going to find our taxes, like how much it's going to pay, things along that lines. So we're going to kind of backtrack and talk about the constraints. Don't get hung up on the words. All right, guys? So if you're thinking of a number between that's greater than 19, but less than or equal to 51, that's an inequality kind of concept. We refer to them as constraints. We usually don't refer to them as that wording, but it's a mathematical constraints with a limitation on the set of outcomes. So like I have to be between this number and this number, that's a constraint. So we write it as an inequality, that's called an inequality constraint. So we can write it three different ways. We can write it verbally, which is basically this, a number that is greater than 19 and less than or equal to 51. And that's how we would write it. So we would write out all those words. Not a big fan of words, so we like to have a little bit of a shorter way to write this. So a compound inequality, it was going to use the word and. That's what we're going to use there. We're going to use the word and we're going to let a variable represent that number part. So x is going to represent our number. And the way this is going to work, we're going to be writing this as x is greater than 19. So our number is greater than 19. And x is less than or equal to 51. Okay, so if you remember your inequality symbols, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, that's what's coming into play here. And then the last way we can write this is interval. It's just basically replacing the and with an x. So we're going to start with our lowest number. We're going to put the x in the middle, and we're going to have our largest number and use the inequality symbols. So we're going to say 19 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 51. Most of the time you're going to see me use the compound with the word and. I find that to be easier. But you're also going to see me do it with the interval, saying that the number that we're looking for is in between these two numbers. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of problems. Now, I tried to find the 2019 tax tables and schedules and worksheets for you guys, but I couldn't get all of them, so I figured it was better just to be consistent. So everything that we have is from 2015, not 2019. So we have Ron here who's single, and he's completing his IRS tax form, and he calculates his taxable income to be $51,482. The instructions tell him to use this tax table to determine his taxes. Let's find out how much he owes. All right, so this is the tax table for $51,000. Now, if you look, we have the words at least and but less than, which means that we're looking for the smallest to the biggest, and in between those two numbers we're going to find the $51,482. So let's see, we're going to have to come down here, and it is circled, so $51,450 to $51,500 is where we're going to find his interval. Okay, so we could say between $51,450 is less than x, which is less than $51,500, and here we're going to find his $51,482. So that number is in between the other two. So that's the interval that we're looking for. So if you notice, I went across, and one of the things that it did say is that he's single, so I'm going to go to the single column up there, and I'm going to go down. And right where those two highlights intersect is going to be where his taxes are. So he's going to owe $8,663. And that's how much taxes he owes. Okay, so the IRS already has all these tables and stuff done. I put a link to the irs.gov into this folder, so if you really want to take a look-see, you can. All right, let's take a look at another problem. So we have Marie and Don are married taxpayers filing jointly. So they're going to take their money and put it together, and that's what they're going to say they're going to use. And they combine the tax table to be $153,900. The IRS offers a schedule so that taxpayers can calculate their tax. Use the schedule below for married tax filers to filing jointly to calculate their tax. So here it is. All right. So here we're going to look for where $153,900 is between. All right, that looks like it's right here. So I'm going to go all the way across so we have all that. Does that make sense? All right. So let's see what it tells us to do. It's going to be, if your taxable income is in that interval, so it's $153,900, the tax is $29,387.50 plus 28%, so 0.28, of the amount over $151,200. So we have to figure out how much over 153,900 is to 151,200. So I'm just going to subtract that. So 153,900 minus 151,200. Okay, and when I did the math, I got 30,143.3 and 50 cents. Okay, so that's how much taxes they owe. Okay, all right, so let's try another one very similar. Okay, we use the table above. What is the taxable income that would yield a tax of exactly $10,312.50? So we want to know, this is the answer. We got to find the interval of which we would find that. Okay, so let's see. 10,312.50. Oh, I see that number. It's right here. So it's in this row. Right? So that number plus 25% of a number bigger than 7492. But if this part would be 0, so I guess it's 74,900. And that is correct. Okay. All right, so let's try another one. All right, so an IRS includes a tax schedule for information purposes only. The taxable income over $100,000 taxpayers must use this tax worksheet. So this is for information, but they actually do the computations here. Okay. Here's a portion of that worksheet for married taxpayers filing jointly, and we want to calculate Maria and Don's tax using this worksheet. So we're still using the $153,900, and we're going to use this worksheet to help us out. Okay, so let's take a look. So we want to find the between. We want to find in what interval we're going to find their income. So looks like this one again. 153 is going to be in there. So 153,900. And again, we're going to take that and times that by 0.28. Okay, so let's do that. And I got 43,092. Okay, we're going to subtract the $12,948.50 to get there. So that's 30,143.50. Okay, I find that a lot easier to do the computation than we did in this previous problem. So we got the same amount, which was what should happen. So again, what did we do? We took their original amount. We times it by 0.28 and then subtracted that answer by 12,948.50. Now that column subtract amount is something that we're going to talk about later on, like where did they get that number from? Okay. All right. And we got 30,143.50. Okay. All right. So let's do another problem very similar. Okay. So we have Divya and John, whose taxable income is $118,675. We're going to use the same worksheet that we just did and find their calculated tax. Okay, so 118,675. So let's find which row they're going to be in. Looks like this one. Okay, 118,675. Okay, according to this, we're going to times that by 0.25. Okay, so we get 29,668.75. A little tight there. And we're going to subtract 8,412 and 50 cents. So we get 21,256 and 25 cents. Okay? And that's how much tax they're going to pay. All right, so let's do that again. We took 118,675, and according to the worksheet, we're going to times that by 0.25, and then we subtracted $8,412.50, and we got $21,256.25. Okay. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email. Talk about tomorrow in Zoom. Remember to wash your hands, stay safe, and we're in all this together, guys. Talk to you later.